Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? I am sorry for the late start. As my guest tonight would tell you, um, I said last night before we disconnected from each other. I hope the devil don't slow us down tonight, and he happens to just stick his ugly face in here. But we found a way to get past him. We found a way to get past him. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Mr. CT Charles Thornton. For those who know me, welcome to another episode of Paul 24 Dust Sauce. I know it's been a few weeks since I last posted the video, but I am here tonight with a very, very, very exciting and what I feel is going to be an epic roundtable with a group of beautiful sisters that's going to definitely give it to you beautifully and raw. They're not going to sugarcoat anything. They're not going to read anything from a script. They're getting it to you straight up raw. So I definitely hope you all stay tuned. Please take the time right now to add people to this chat because we're definitely going to be talking about a lot of great topics tonight. And I've just been excited for the past week to get to this night. I've been nervous. I've been a little shaky, but I am here. All the sisters are here. Before I let them introduce themselves, I want to ask everybody to take a few minutes and please, let's go ahead. If you haven't done it, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel right now so you don't miss anything. And I promise you won't regret it because we're going to bring you a lot of great stuff from here on out. Before we get into the questions, I'm going to let these sisters introduce themselves. We're going to start. We'll pretty much start from right to left. From my point of view, right to left, it's going to be Miss Tamika. So it's going to start with Miss Tamika, then so forth and so on. I guess you ladies can see exactly where you're lined up at. So we're going to do it that way. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Shamika. Shamika Howard. I come from the IT industry. I have spent over 15 years in the IT industry. I currently work as a solutions engineer. I also teach at two different colleges because I believe in multiple income streams. And I co-own a business called the Dream Team where we put on elite parties. And I also do small business consulting with the company that I own called Mind Your Business. Nice to meet you all.
And next.
Yes, that be me. Hi, I am in the education industry, work in the library. So I'm all about the learning. Been doing that since 2004. Pretty much, I am a person that believes in treating people the way they want to be treated, treating people well, and about learning something new every day. That's why I do it.
Okay.
I love to hear knowledge, and I love to gain knowledge. So here, gain, and give. That's me.
Thank you for that introduction. And next.
Hi, I'm Tangela Clark. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author. I'm an accountant. I have a business, a juice business. I'm an overcomer. I'm a motivation speaker. And I'm excited for what we're about to get into tonight. Welcome.
And last but not least.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeanette Brew, and I am in the financial services industry. If you need income protection or protecting your home, I am about that. So I also do taxes, and my fun business is my Avon business. So I'm happy to be with you and with these strong ladies on the panel tonight. And thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, lady. I appreciate it. Tonight, we're definitely going to cover a couple of different topics that I told you, ladies, that I've been just waiting to get to this point with you, ladies. Again, I am extremely excited because I want to hear your answers. So, once again, I want to ask everybody that's coming in viewing, please invite others to this chat. Please share it. right now. Take a few minutes, take a few seconds and share it. We want the guys to hear and all. To my brothers, if you come in here, I want to let you know now. These sisters gonna speak frankly. They're not gonna hold their tongues. They're gonna let you. They're gonna tell you how they feel. They're gonna tell you what they think. Just please sit back and accept it. Please, if whatever you have to say in the comments, I will read them. I see them. I will read them to whoever you direct it to. You can actually direct it to a certain person, and I will read it. I believe they can see it too. Ladies, can you see the comments?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So they can see your comments if you direct the question to them. Well, with that being said, we're gonna jump right into this thing tonight, and we're gonna start off with one of the most questionable questions that came my way when I put it out there that I was looking for questions to discuss with these sisters, and that was all in a nutshell. It was about relationships, the Black relationship, the family-oriented relationships, everything that's based around relationships. We're going to be discussing tonight, and we're going to give all these ladies opportunity to speak on what they feel about the question that I asked them. They're going to have opportunity just to lay it out on the line what they feel about this topic. Now, understand, ladies, I've done my homework. Okay, as they say today in today's society, I understood the assignment. All right.
We here. We ready.
Okay. So, without no further ado, we're gonna jump into my very first. This is gonna start off with Miss Jeanette. I believe she was the first one on the panel to speak tonight, and this came from a young lady here in Jacksonville, and the question was from her, and I want you ladies to give me your input and what you think on this topic, how you feel about this topic, and just tell us from your experience what you think. And the question was, do Black women have their bar or standards set too high for the Black men of today? Miss Jeanette, it is on you. What do you have to say about that, my sister?
Well, I don't think I think it's important to have standards and to try to be able to, at least not go for just anything, especially if you are, at a certain level and, you want someone to meet you at that level, you don't want to have to, pull someone up per se to me. And so I think that having standards is important. I think that, sometimes it's hard to keep them, because we do tend to want to give everybody a chance. Because everybody wants love and wants to be loved. So, I don't think that, and all women, have pretty, some would say high standards of just not settling for just anyone to be with someone. I think it's important to be equally yoked with a person, not to be two different faiths, because that's really difficult. Having the conversation of what may expect in a relationship is important. And, I think that it is important to have some standards, to set some boundaries for yourself, you know? So that's kind of what I have.
Now, I think. See, now I got to now from a Black male's point of perspective. It seems like, and not every woman, but it seems like some of them are expecting a little too much. Now, I'm not saying, pretty much I'm not saying fall for anything, but I think You have women today, like they won't speak with you or even give you their name unless you or say hi if you speak to them unless you pulling up in a Jag or a BMW or a Mercedes. Let me read something to you ladies right quick, and I'll let the next lady speak. There was a study done with 52 males. One of those males being Latino black. He wasn't all black, but the rest of the males was black. And the subject was about the same thing we're talking about. And I had to dig this up and I found this. And this brother here spoke on this, and their names are not our actually just to protect them. They're not their real names. But on the subject of setting standards too high or being high maintenance, this brother Steve said, from what I've noticed, there are some women who are too anxious. Their standards are set too high. The brother goes on to say, I don't mean you should go to the gutter for a variety of men or a guy, but a lot of them are looking for a man, as I said a few minutes ago, a lot of them are looking for a man with a BMW, a large brick house, a $250,000 a year job, things like that. I mean, when I got married, I didn't have any of that. This is what he said. When I got married, I didn't have any of that. But my wife still loved me for what I had at that time, and we're still happily married after 8 years. So,
okay.
To the next lady, do you think the standard is too high?
Can any one of us speak? Is that cool? Yeah. Okay, so I think there's some key factors there, like in what you said, that are missing from that study, because at a certain age, struggle love is just not what's going. Like if I meet you at 19, 20, 21 and we rise up together, that's different than if I meet you at the age of 40 and I'm pulling up in a BMW. I got a 6-figure job. I have my own house. And then I'm meeting you and you staying at the hotel or still with your mom. Like that's not saying my standard is too high. I shouldn't settle for that. We're not equally yoked. And it becomes me being your mother, not me being your partner. And we have to set those standards.
Okay, so I asked this question then. So let's say you're 40, he's 41. You pull up in your BMW to, let's just say you pull up to Zaxby's in your BMW. And this brother's coming out of Zaxby's and he sees you and he speaks to you. Let's say he got his work clothes on. Would you speak back? Would you give him the time of day?
Yeah, so I don't think like we're the small minute percent of women who are that rude. It's very small, and they're trying to generalize us all. I think in general we would definitely speak because we understand that like you work, and it's not saying like a brother with a job is not desirable, but like if you are still working on trying to get your life together, like you don't have your own, you're still trying to figure that out, even at 40. Like I think that your focus should not be worried about dating someone, especially someone of my caliber. Like your focus should be working on you to get you in a place so that you can protect, provide, and profess. You can't do those 3 things still living with your mama, still struggling, don't have your own car because the car you pulled up to Zaxby's in ain't yours. Like I gotta come pick you up for the date. I gotta pay for half of it. If we do go anytime we go, I gotta pay for our vacation. Like that's setting our standards way too low, and you end up finding yourself in a relationship where you're not a partner, you're a caretaker.
Okay. Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of it, I disagree with it. When you said standards, are you basing your standards on materialistic things? Or are you basing it on having a balanced life? My thing is that even when you say equally yoked, to me, equally yoked is not just financial. It could be everything, but there's a balance. So that's why I'm saying I disagree about standards. Is it based on materialistic, or is it based on that person's his mentality? I mean, his accomplishment, but not so much because he drives this car. Because you can have some good men that don't drive Jaguars. So it's what you're looking at and what you're looking for. So I disagree with that.
And I'm glad you said that because with Shamika's answer, because I wanted to ask this question to her or one of you ladies who want to answer this question. I know she said if the car he pulls up in wasn't his car, or he's living with his mother. Okay, so let's flip that a second. Let's say this brother has his own place, has an apartment. He doesn't have a house, but he has an apartment. He has a decent car. He's working 9 to 5. He makes his money. He don't make your money. Your money supersedes his maybe 3 or 4 folds. But he works. He handles his business, and he respects you, and he still tries to do as much as he can for you. Even though he know he may not afford it, he still tries. Now, where does that put you then? What do you say about a brother like that?
You give
That's
him an
what you-
opportunity to raise the bar.
Okay.
Because he has to prove
Because
he
that
can
may
take
be
care
his
of him.
choice. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because he has to be in a position to where he can take care of him. That's all we're saying. Like, you can't be in a position where you're not independent is I guess is the right word. You're not independent. Like, you're still struggling to try to get things together on your end. So how can you come into my life and be that man that leads? Where are you leading me to? What am I following you for? And we can pretend like finances aren't a big part of relationships, but they are. Like, when equally yoked, you need to be financially, spiritually, mentally. Like, we need to be equally yoked on all planes, and finances are one of those things.
And that's exactly what I was saying. It's not just the materialistic, it's the balance of multiple things. And basically what you just said, that's where I was going. Yeah.
Okay. And Yvette, do you have anything you want to speak on that?
Well, I think the word standard is what's throwing me. Um, do the question was, do Black women have standards that are set too high for men today? Are the Black men presenting themselves in a manner that the woman would desire them, or that would make them want to have interest in them? Are they looking for just that pretty face that might be a gold digger, that might have her agenda already set, and he's thinking that, oh well, I don't have this, that, and the other, because that's her agenda. That's not every woman's agenda. So I don't think you can say the standard part. That's the word is not. If a man's not willing to boost himself to meet a certain level, what is he looking for? Because it's kind of unbalanced. He wants a woman that's all that, but he's not gonna raise to meet her. He wants to just be any kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think women's standards are too high. I think men want to not work for it. They want to just be. Those men just want to have it handed to them.
Okay. So okay. So hey, this is what it's about. Getting the honest truth from the sister. So I'm loving this. Okay. Anybody has anything else they want to say on that topic? Any questions from those who are viewing us at this time? And if not, we're gonna ask the next question here. And this question kind of coexists with that following questions. What are some of the standards that you look for in a man? And this is going to be a little devil advocate here. What are the standards you look for in a man, and why? We're going to start with this one with Miss Tangela.
What are the standards that I look for in a man and why? The standards that I look for in a man falls in number one, spiritually, mentally, physically. So in other words, I want this man, his standards to be whole. And wherever, how do they say, when two become one, we got to remember we're becoming one. So our standards are not already there. So I need that standard from him, and he needs the same standard from me, that we can be all 100 and not 50-50. because I believe that 100 and 100 equals a whole, not 50-50. So my standards, number one, is that um, mentally, I'm strictly in that mental stage where this man, he got a good mind. Because first of all, I want to be more interested in his mind, the way he thinks, and how he executes. So if he can't bring that to the table, or like I said, I guess bring it to the table and I give him enough time and he gives me enough time, because we know it's not a one-way relationship. So I want him to have 100% standard in all those areas, I'll say. And it takes time, but that's my expectation. And I hope he expects the same from me.
Okay, okay. And the next lady, who would that be? Let's any one of you.
I tag team off of what she was saying. I do have to have that mental. Gotta have it because I gotta be able to have a conversation with you.
That's right.
We like interests, whether it be, and I'm not gonna always say political, but we gotta have some same social interests. Um, I gotta know that I like a man that's quick on his feet because I'm not always. So a man that can pick that conversation up and keep it going, or that can protect me with his words versus with his brawn. Now I do like a strong man too. Don't get it twisted. But I need him to be a thinker. Um, I like physical, but not physical in the manner that he got to be big and strong and all that. I like him to be physically well, so that we gonna ride this out for a long time together. Um, it's two things don't nobody want to be: sick and dead or poor and dead. But them some things you don't want to be. So I want a man that's gonna be physically able to hang with me. Spiritually, I don't need a man that's got to be in church every Sunday. I don't like a Bible thumper. I just really don't. That turns me off. I like a man that knows his place in this world, that knows that there is a higher power, that there is a creator. But I don't need to beat over my head every day. I need a man that knows how to act right, knows the lessons of the teachings, can bring that together to be a better man, and can bring me along, teach me along the way. So yeah, I gotta have a man with a brain overall.
Okay.
As for
Let
me, I think my my stance, there needs to be financial stability. That's high on my list because I run into it so many times that it's been a deal breaker. And like one of them said, the educational level is important to me as well. We got to be able to hold some conversations, and then you got to be able to move in my world as well. Like I move in a professional world. I got to be able to take you around my colleagues, and you fit in. I can walk away, and you're not gonna feel lost. And they're not gonna feel like, who are we talking to? Because he doesn't know anything. And for me, it's also confidence. Like I'm a strong personality, so you have to be a strong personality so that I don't walk all over you. If not, if you're not that strong and confident, I know I'll take advantage of it. So I don't even try to attempt to get into those type of relationships because it's going to aggravate me and it's going to aggravate you. Like I need you to be able to lead me, and lead me in the right direction.
So I
okay.
do have a question. Oh, go ahead.
You see, you had a question.
Yeah. When you said about, having that whole man, or I said the whole man, but remember the old cliche was a piece of man is better than no man. I wonder how do they feel about that?
That disturbs my happiness. I need to be happy. So I would rather be by myself than to have a piece of man. I literally have come to the conclusion that I can grow old. Just put me in one of them nice homes where I can shuffleboard or whatever the case may be and be happy than to be miserable with some piece of man. Like I've seen that play out too much in the generational traits of my family, and I don't like it. Like I don't like seeing older people in my family with the man just for the sake of being with the man and they're miserably unhappy. Like I want to be happy at 70. Like I don't. So I'll just be by myself if it means that I'm gonna have some piece of man that's gonna have me miserable.
Miss Jeanette?
I to piggyback on what the lady said and Tangela said, as far as in mental stability, a standard for me is so many people, kids, men, women, are going through mental kind of like, you know, they're lost in a lot of ways, and you tend to have to fill a void when you're lost, you know, and I'm not willing to do that because that depletes me, you know. So I need a man that is like Tangela said, 100% whole, because I'm bringing 100% wholeness. No voids need to be filled. You don't have to pour all yourself into me. And, you know, because I'm 100% woman, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
for a man that is completely whole in every aspect of his life, you know, because then I don't want to be depleting all myself to fill him, you know? So, and of course, the reason why is because, you know, I don't want to use my energy up for that. I'd rather use it for, you know, building someone else, which is why we're here, I feel like. You know,
Right.
we're all here to build one another. We are relationship people, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
all are here to some kind of way lift each other up. So the spiritual aspect is really big. You know, it's many religions, so many now. It's shocking, mind-boggling. And you know, I believe in God and I believe in Jesus as two separate people. So you know, being equally yoked on that level is very important to me. I'm not willing to falter from that. I don't care if you believe in yeah, you know, you don't like Jesus. I met somebody they ain't like Jesus. Okay, so but anyway, so that's a big one for me. Another thing is I like to have a good time, be it a good time at home. I like you to use your mind because I'm going to use mine. Be creative. You know, have take some thought into the things that you do for me as I will for you, right? So you have to have some kind of, you know, care about me, right? In order to think about me that way, to think about the things that I would enjoy or I would like, because I would be thinking about that for you. So
Okay.
the things, okay.
Anyone else has anything to touch on? No?
We good.
Okay, cool. Thank you, ladies, for that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Um, I hope that our viewers are enjoying this as much as I am. I want to read. I want to read something right quick to you, ladies. Um, it was a statistics done. A study was done, and on this study, it was talking about the average length of a relationship, and this is what it says. Um, While responding clearly to various data supported that the average length of a relationship, you know, we're referring to Black relationships, um, and we'll get to our counterparts uh, uh, here in a little bit. But it was saying that the average length of a relationship before marriage is between 1 to 2 years. Just because couples are delaying marriage doesn't mean that they are going to. Doesn't mean they're not going to create a life together. But they're saying pretty much what the study was saying was relationships these days, Black relationships these days, only last 1 to 2 years. Now, I don't know how they get this study, but this is what they were reporting. Now that brings me to my next question here, and that question is going to be directed to Miss Shamika. The question she's going to lead off with. The question is, how can we, um, as a as a as African Americans, as Blacks, men and women, how can we build that strong relationship bond to grow with, like our grandparents and great grandparents? How can we get back, or are we capable in today's age to get back to that type of relationships that our grandparents and great grandparents had?
Okay. First of all, we need to throw away the notion of back to the relationship that they had because those were different times. So I think we look at those and we idolize those relationships, thinking, oh, the marriages lasted long and the women stuck by the man and all that good stuff. And that's because we were in a position where we had to. The man was the breadwinner. The women didn't work. They would stay home, had a bunch of babies, and all they could do was take care of the kids. They didn't have any means to step away and leave. So they took some of the abuse and the mistreatment and the babies out on the side because she lived right down the street and we got 4 sisters that we don't know about. We don't find out till we 30 years old. Like we can't keep living with that notion that they were happy because then that's setting us up to fail. That wasn't. They stayed together out of necessity, not out of happiness and love. I feel in seeing a lot of those cases. So we have to step away from that and we have to say, how can we create Black love in today's world? Because women earn just as much or more than men, and they can live independently and they can take care of their children. I think men have to realize that they can't just rely on being a man and that's enough. They have to, we use that word standards, but they have to raise their standards to be able to be a part of our lives as well. Like the fathers need to be present. You need to be able to lead your household. Like you can't come into have a house expect that the woman is just going to follow behind you simply because you're there and you're a man. You can't think that you can make as many mistakes as you want and she has to forgive you because you're the man. And then that house is to remain a household. Like men have to step up and also realize that they have to come up to the standards because a woman just doesn't have to settle to be with you simply because he wants a man and we need to have a man. Like that notion that we have to have a man to be able to do anything in life is not a true notion. And we're starting to step away from that to say, like, we can build this on our own if we have to build this on our own. Not because we want to, don't get that wrong. Like women, Black women especially, definitely want that Black love. We have done the struggle on for a very long time. But we've reached the breaking point. It's like how much of that struggle should we sit in and continue to sit in when we don't have to anymore?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because in that study that I mentioned before, one of the brothers spoke on that, and actually two of the brothers spoke on that. And this brother said, Quinn, the study they was talking about. Well, it was a percentage of the men. 37% of these men views on this topic, independent woman that you just spoke about. And this is what the brother said, and I'm going to read from what he said. The brother said, some independent women believe they don't need a man. And he followed by saying, and this brother Quinn, like I said, he's been married for 7 years, and he's 35 years old, said, they got this in their minds from, and I found this kind of hilarious when I read it. They got this in their minds from this independent song, referring to the song Independent by Webby and Lil Boosie. So he referred to that. He said, he went on to say they can do it by themselves. Can't nobody do it by themselves, is what he said. Then the brother Ricky, who is 34, and he's been married 5 years, agreed. The role of I don't need anything but myself has been contributed to the fact that a lot of women are looking past the benefits of marriage. What do you think about that?
It's not that we can do it by ourselves. We've been forced to have to do it by ourselves, and we realize that when forced to, we can. I don't think any woman goes into it truly wanting to be independent where I have to do it by myself. But we've reached the state to where we're like, if I have to do it by myself, I can.
Okay. And next lady?
I think
I'm
that
gonna touch on the part where you said that this Tangela, if it's okay. I'm gonna touch on the part when you said the length of marriage and the difference then of now. Um, I feel like in some relationships, whether it's marriage or even if it's just a committed relationship, that I think women should stay in their lane as well as men should stay in their lane. A lot of times you find that the woman becomes the mom and the man, they take on that mother and father role instead of learning what true love is. So what am I saying? It's that expectations. Just because I'm your wife, I'm your woman, I'm not your mama. But I still should be able to love you as a wife, not with those expectations of, you know how they said, to a man's heart is through his stomach. And usually that man wants you to cook like his mama. So I disagree with that. I mean, it's like we're gonna stay in our lanes, we're gonna grow together, we're gonna live together, and we're gonna do this thing right. We're gonna build. But otherwise, I don't want to be a man's mama. And I don't
All
want him
right.
to be my daddy either. So I think that I don't know how the other ladies feel. You know how we said, oh, you remember how even if you have Christian values, it was like this is what a woman's supposed to do. But last time I didn't see that in the Bible. So I'm free now.
Okay.
So
And I think Yvette was about to touch on something.
Yeah, I think that we give up too soon. You do one thing wrong, I ain't got to take this. I can go and be by my no. And I'm saying that both ways. Women mess up too. You just kept saying the man do this and the man do that. No, women step wrong too. So
that's true.
when they do, they
I
don't
agree.
try to come back and say, okay, why did I do this? What what was the catalyst to make me, did you do something over and over and over and it got on that last nerve and I went left? They don't come back and say, okay, we got to figure out where we went wrong so we can get back on the right path. Folk give up way too soon. Now, I'm not saying it's not a point that comes when you're like, you know what, this ain't worth the fight. You have to know your worth in that. Because if this man or this woman is treating you less than over and over again, there is a point that you just say, no, this is not for me. But if it's a struggle because y'all don't understand who you are, first of all, because maybe you got married young, you don't understand the ins and outs of this thing called life. Y'all hitting them struggles and them stripes, and y'all don't know how to direct it in the proper way, and you seek help outside the house instead of inside the house, where you're supposed to lean on each other and you're supposed to be each other's soft landing place. Instead, you come home from your work day, you cussing him out because they done cussed you out at work. He cussing you out because they done blessed him out at work, and y'all ain't getting no money. Y'all in this struggle, and y'all not coming together. That's where we had a problem. We going outside instead of coming back to each other. And I really believe that's our problem with society as a whole. When we started having, okay, in the 60s, 50s, it was all about black power, black love. Everybody came together. When we got rights and things started separating and we got equality, we started separating and going different ways and we didn't need each other no more. That's what happens in marriage. I don't need him, he don't need me. We're gonna do our own thing. We do need each other. That's why we got married. That's why we started this relationship, because we needed each other. Not that each other is perfect. Because I'm sorry, I don't believe that 100% part. I ain't perfect. I ain't fixed all the way yet. So I need somebody that's just as kooky as I am. So we can work on this thing together. I'm gonna help him with his parts. He gonna help me with mine. That's where we come together. But that's, you gotta know that in yourself. You gotta know where your faults are. You gotta know you. Then they gotta get to know you and be willing to take them faults and them flaws and know we ain't all perfect. And just two imperfect people that work good together. That's what we need to find, and that's what we need to develop. And then we can stay together.
I like that. I like
And
that.
yeah, I agree with her about, all men are not bad. I agree with you saying all men are not bad. There is some good men out there, but I think there are some men and women that it takes longer to get to a certain place until
Mm-hmm.
you know who you are. That's my
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only thing I have to say about that is, um, kind of what Shamika said with, how it used to be back in the day, and women had to really kind of stay in the game and stick it out and be there. It's not like that anymore, to where women have to, endure all pain and suffering. Now we want men. We want men in our lives. We need to build them, because a lot of them are broken. And, that's why I constantly, may say king, or, or uplift them in a way, because they do need to get back into a place you know, of power, because they are, to me, the closest thing to God. And if you pray, for that strength, he will give you that. So, and, then having a coming together and trying to find, better ways to do fun things together, and, make things work together, is easier, because you have like goals, you have, um, you're able to work together then. So not in, I have nowhere to go, but in togetherness. So it's kind of like a new thing, that we need to start. Not like Shamika said, going to the old thing. It's that new thing of, hey, we in this together. We're here to lift both of us up, and we want to share this amazing life that is in front of us, because we don't know how long we're here. We don't know the day nor the hour, so you do want to love and be loved and experience amazingness, because this world has a lot of amazingness to offer. So, so finding that balance of, fun things to do, dating each other often, you know, using your mind, coming up with creative ways to do fun things, or things you may not have tried or want to try together, talking, building each other, showing each other how important and great you are, it's so, yeah, that's all I have to offer on that.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, this next one, I love that. I love you guys, Candace. I love how you ladies are just giving it to us. We want to hear this. This is what brothers want to hear, and I hope a lot more brothers come back through and listen to this whole interview, because this whole roundtable, because this is really good stuff, coming from some real good sisters, and I appreciate it. And now this next question, it's pretty much a two-part question, but we're going to talk about it. And once again, I did my homework. Um, I want you ladies, and we're going to be starting with Miss Yvette on this one. Give me, or tell us, tell us, brothers, what is your five five main reasons, we're talking about black relationships here, that black relationships aren't lasting today?
Ooh,
And Miss Yvette?
I'm writing. Okay. Don't last. I'm senile sometimes. I have to write it down. Okay, the five main reasons. Disney, because we got a romanticized view of what relationships are. Relationships are not rainbows, butterflies, and candy all the time. Relationships are hard work. Um, the internet or technology. Stuff get away from you real fast nowadays. So if something get out, you don't have time to reel it back in before she done caught wind of it, and then she done packed her bags and out. Well, he done packed his bag and he out. We don't. Our technology has made us so we do not have a slow down button. We want everything instant. We want popcorn relationships. We want it instant. We want perfect popcorn every time, and that ain't gonna happen. So I just think a lot of it is just we are not realistic. lies when you don't have to. Tell the truth. Somebody may not like it, they may not agree with it, but the main thing is you told your truth. You did not deceive somebody. So that's number three. Let's see. Number four is other folk in your business. Stop letting your mama know. Stop letting your boys know what is going on because it's a temporary situation. Now, if you got that one confidant that you know ain't gonna run back and tell, but you just need to vent to them, that's one thing. But don't go tell the whole neighborhood what he did last night, because you're gonna be with him tomorrow. And then they gonna come back, well, you know he did this, you know he did that. And you got your friends that ain't your friends. That's number five. They say they're your friends, but real friends help you. They don't hurt you. They bolster a loving relationship. They support you when your relationship is in a bad place. They help you get through it. That's what friends do. Them fake friends by themselves and they want you by yourself with them. So that's number five. That's why I think black relationships don't work sometimes. Okay, I'm done.
All righty, all right, Sister C. Who's
I
that?
want to chime in. I think I'll add. I only have three. I can't think of five. That's too much for my brain to do this late in the evening. But I think one is I call it generational curses and the inability to heal. I think like the black family in general has been through a lot of trauma, and because of that trauma, we've developed some coping mechanisms that aren't healthy for relationships. And if we don't start healing from those, then they continue to deteriorate, like, to the detriment of our relationships. Um, the other thing is options. I think that there's just way too many options out there, and people live in this fast world where they want all options. Like it's always FOMO, fear of something better, fear of missing out. So because you have other options, and because I feel like I have this here, but that might be better. And the last thing is, I think disrespect. I think in the relationships there's levels of disrespect that are sometimes like they're just mountains that you can't get over because of how they did things or disrespect. If you think about a man that cheats, a lot of women, and it's sad to say, like, we can get past the cheating. It's the level at which you did it that was disrespectful. Like, if you decide that you're going to cheat and y'all went to a hotel and nobody knew about it, versus you decide that you're going to cheat and y'all all out in public, and my mama, sister, the whole town done seen you do it, and you did it in my house and they watching me leave for work and her coming into my house. Like, that level of disrespect makes it hard for us. Like, there's no discrepancy about what you do. There's no stuff hidden in the closet and we ain't finding out for 15 years later. Like she said, we finding out instantly because you don't care. Like, you just out in the open with what you do.
Okay, now I like that. Now my rebuttal to that, because you strictly said that when men cheat. Well, let me read you a statistic that a study was done on who cheats the most in relationships. And again, amazingly, we're talking about, and even my white counterpart friends who may listen to this, we're gonna get to y'all. We ain't gonna leave y'all out this subject, but right now we're talking about the black community. So this study said men typically cheat more than women. But according to this information that was collected in a social survey, 20% of married men, now that's 20%, and you're a number lady now, you know numbers, and 13% of married women have slept with someone other than their partners. So
But did you miss the point
So
where I
is that
said
less
it's about
men?
the
Is it less
respect?
men than women left?
huh? Huh?
Is it less men than women left?
I'm just saying, because we don't want to say that. We don't
I
want to
mean, the
focus.
ratio.
Huh?
Are you talking ratio? Is
We're
it
talking
more?
20% of married men and 13% of married women. So now two wrongs don't make a right. But and this was it. This study was done. This is 2022. This study was done in 2021. So we don't know how far that gap has closing since then. I'm not saying it's right anything. I'm just saying we don't want to lay focus. I don't want to lay focus just on my brother's cheating or me and black men cheating. When do you ladies disagree that women cheat just as much?
Oh, sure.
But not
Or
as
or what?
disrespectful.
Or we just don't tell. I know we
Huh?
probably see more than men do. We just ain't telling y'all. And if y'all
Yeah,
don't
we know how
mind,
to keep it secrecy. Like they're disrespectful with
So
it.
I knew that was gonna come. So you ladies are admitting, and I think that was Yvette. First of all, I'm coming back to you, Miss Shanika. So are you saying, Yvette, that women cheat, but they just keep it more quieter than men do?
I think that women do probably cheat just as much as men. I'm not saying that there's more or less. I'm saying that it's probably about equal. But I don't think that men will deny. She will see it. She will have the pictures, and she will all that. Men won't have it. Men will suspect it, and she probably has done it, but he ain't got no proof. So I'm just saying it's probably the same amount, but he ain't got no
So
proof.
she just
does
said,
it?
Okay, Miss
So
Taylor,
does it?
let's get your five. Let's get your five, and then you can
So
comment on this statistics also.
I think it's 50-50 if it's going to happen because there's a lack on the right and a lack on the left. So it's what they cheating for.
Okay. And what about your five reasons that
Oh,
the black relationship isn't working? Do you have
okay.
five reasons
I think all
as
the
to why?
ladies said I think the ladies, they said everything. They broke it down. And I'm gonna tell you, y'all did really good. Y'all gave it into detail. So I'm just gonna summarize it, okay? My number one thing is sex. That's one reason. Finance is the other reason. Maturity, that's three. Um, I'm gonna put loyalty and trust in there, and communication. But
Now,
they gave it to it really in good detail. I just summarized it. That's all.
now, and I'm glad.
I like how they did it.
Yes, 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 and I'm glad you gave your five because um, I just wanted you ladies to see this. You can see, you might can't, but if you notice, I have sex highlighted, and I have big one there because because I
That's
feel
right.
like I hear people, and again, I talk to people prior to these questions. I feel like people are basing 60%, maybe 7% of relation. No, I'm gonna back that up. I'm gonna say 50% to 60% of relationship on sex.
Mhm.
Is that right? Is that an accurate percentage? I don't think it is as a man, but I want to hear from the sisters. I want to know what y'all think.
I got a
Do y'all
sister.
think
I think it's yeah, I do. I think it's close because I think it's close and not because what I'm trying to say. I think it's sometimes it could be a lack of fulfillment.
Okay. All right.
You
Okay.
know, when men have to go to other measures to, you know what I mean? Like the pills or whatever. Well,
I got you. Now, hold on. Now, before we're gonna touch on this stuff. Now, I want y'all
I
to hold
mean,
that
I'm
thought.
just being truthful. Yeah.
I want y'all to hold that thought because we still got to get Miss Jeanette five reasons why the black
Uh,
relationship is working.
the ladies did amazing.
Yeah.
Shanika did most of those three were mine, and then Tangela came in with the sex, and it's we have a plethora of people available now, where social media makes it really easy to replace someone. People
That's
think,
right.
we think, and it's not about really, we have it wrong, and we're just, but we're catching up. It's like kind of like evolution. The woman had to learn things from you guys, right? From the men. We learn these things, and now we've taken them and running with them. We've kind of got, we do everything so well. I mean, I'm sorry, but
No, I'll add. Can I add to you what you're saying? We got replacements.
I know I have that
We
down.
have
It's easy to
enhancements. We're gonna
replace,
call it enhancements to the
you know,
relationship.
and but
Roses and
it's not like, we want relationship. We want that. If a man comes and he's bringing that, because we are reciprocators, right? We reciprocate what is given to us, right? You give us one, some sperm, we may give you two babies, So you give us happiness, we giving you some happiness, right? And you trip out, now we tripping out with you. So it's kind of like, if a man is able to bring that great energy, that's what you're going to mainly get back from the majority of women. Now, there are a select few that are, like, hey, I don't care. I'm in the, you want some from me, I want some from you, right? But that's not the majority of women are like, you got to give me something up front. So mine are easy to replace, not wanting to take the time out for one another, not seeing the value of being patient, and really, taking some time to learn each other and learn what each other really likes, and give that, wholeheartedly. God doesn't like half lukewarm people. You either gonna go for it or you not, right? So that's what I have.
Okay. Now, far as those 5 points that I actually laid these forward, um, there are some more, and I want you to give me your input on it. Um, Tangela touched on communication. If you can't see it, but I also mark communication as a big one. So, do you ladies feel that there's a lack of communication in the black relationship or the black household these days?
yes,
Yeah.
And
within the couple, they talking to everybody. They're talking, but they're not talking to
That
each
part.
other. They're
That
talking to
part.
everybody.
okay. Anyone
They
else?
getting in on the
Fine.
other people. That's not for them. It's their relationship. They working through their relationship through you.
I
So
feel you.
I think it's knowing how to effectively communicate. So I think the problem is not knowing how to communicate with each other. I don't know if people have heard the concept of just love languages in general, but like there's also you have to know your partner to know that there's a certain way to communicate. Like I take notice in knowing that like as I've grown and through counseling stuff, and I could push a button, but I do know that if I push that button, you're going to shut down. That's not going to allow you to communicate with me. It's going to make you shut down. Yet I still communicate with you like that. Like I yell, or maybe I degrade. So I think it's not just communication, but effectively communicating with each other, knowing how to communicate with your partner so that you guys have an effective communication and can reach a resolution.
Yeah, and I agree. This is Tangela. I agree with her too, because as you were saying it, what came to my mind, communicating is, of course, listening is a part of communicating. Also, it's not what you say, it's how you respond to. So that's another form of the lack of communication, is the way you respond. Because I mean, somebody could be saying something, it's just like texting, can be taken out of content. So can communication, the way
Okay.
you respond to a certain, pardon me?
So we all agree that a lack of communication is one of the main reasons for black relationships not working. Now, But that being
Yeah.
said, Tam, because I heard you just said that we have issues with, and I heard uh, uh, Jeanette say also we have issues with communicating the right way. And I think Shamika said also getting the message right the right way. Now, to me, this is another part of that question I asked. I think that's a form of. Are you saying that's a form of arguments? That's how you. That is arguing with each other. Now, do you ladies feel, or how do you feel about? Because earlier, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Yvette that said all relationships aren't going to be peaches and creams, pretty much. Do you ladies feel that we communicate by arguing way more than that we communicate by talking? Like, because when you argue, things are said, words are used that can affect you mentally in a very bad way. So, do you think arguments are lacking the right tone, if I can say that word, the get the point across? You feel me?
Yes
I think
and no.
doesn't that fall into how you respond?
Mm,
Exactly. So I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Do men and women have the wrong concept of responding to a conversation? They make it out of argument.
That happened. I agree.
Yeah, some
well,
people don't know how to effectively take constructive criticism, and some people don't know how to give constructive criticism. So I think, like we said, it's not just about what you say, but sometimes it's about how you say it. You know, I think that comes into the communication, and that comes into where it starts an argument because you said something in a way that I ain't like how you said it. So now I'm going to come back at you in a heightened manner because I feel insulted, and that's how we get into an argument as opposed to a conversation.
And
Right.
like Tangela said, it's the way you respond. It's always the outcome. It's the outcome of what you do that changes the dynamic of it, the thing.
That's right.
I could take it, you could have said it in a way that you weren't trying to be damaging. You weren't actually trying to hurt the person. You might have been saying, babe, did you find that job today? And you kind of heard it like, you ain't look for no job. He could have heard it like that. He
Right.
responded like, oh, I heard you say, like you was coming for me, but it is always in how you take the information you get. You could take it and be like, oh, okay, I received that. I'm going to make the adjustment and move forward. But a lot of times we internalize it as bad because we're in a bad space already,
mhm.
with whatever that might be going on. But, we try not to argue. That's not a goal or something, so.
I got you. I like that. You ladies are sharp. You on point too. I'm not mad at you. Now,
Right.
part two of that question. We know what are some of the issues that will damage or end a relationship. How about give me your 5 views on what can make a black relationship last longer? What would it take? What can we do?
Heal. Like I am I guess I'm on my I've been in counseling. I'm chill, but I heal. Like I think a lot of that comes from like being able to come to grounds with who you are, loving you, understanding what your trauma is and what your triggers are, and heal from it. Like we as a people get so have gotten so accustomed to just living in our trauma, and it's just who I am. Like and we gotta heal because a broken person in a relationship, you're not healed, you come in there already broken, then any little thing that happens is going to be pouring salt on your wound because that wound is open. Like we gotta heal before we can be any good to anybody.
Um, she's right. Charles, if you don't mind me touching on that, because that's one of the chapters in my book. It's called Heal Before You Move. A lot of times we get broken in one relationship, or we go through one situation in a previous relationship, and we think that we're fixed, and then we try to go to the next relationship, and all we did was just double bagged our luggage with more stuff. So I agree with you on the hill.
Anyone else?
I mean, that is tough right there, right? It is definitely, you know, being better yourself would make you better for somebody else. You know, that's that whole broken and voids need to be filled. But if you fill that void and get better yourself, then you're able to love and show love and give love and be loved, right? So you have space for that, and you can, you know. So I agree with that, like, wholeheartedly.
And
Okay.
then I agree with you too, because even with myself, I think that I have to do a self check.
Yeah.
And, in whatever situation or circumstances or relationship, I still have to do a self check with myself,
Yes.
because I can't give love if I don't love myself.
That's right. I
Yeah.
say that, you know, I love going, I can go and do anything with myself, for myself, right? Because I love
Mm-hmm.
me first so that
Right.
I can love you. And I
Right.
feel up so that, you know, so being full gives you an opportunity to help others too. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, so yeah, I constantly try to pour into myself, and this is a great platform. So
Yeah. It really is to
thank
help.
you for it. Thank you for that.
And I wow, I really thank you, ladies, for that input. And right quick, I just want to say that we're definitely running over. We're gonna cut this short. Ladies, listen, I want to let you ladies know that we have so much. When I tell you, ladies, we have so much more to cover. And we're not going to all be. We're not. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're not going to be able to cover this in a day. So, what we're going to do? We because I told you late last night, it's going to be a two-part series. It might wind up being more because I'm pretty sure once people come in and look at this video, I think you ladies are going to see a lot of comments on it, and they're going to want more. They're going to want more. I want more. So, we're going to end this on this last question because I don't want to hold you ladies up all night. We're gonna ask this last question. We'll get to the last question, and then we'll move uh, 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 because there's a lot of stuff in relationships that I haven't asked yet. Marriage, a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna move that to part two. I told you last night is gonna be a part two, maybe more than a part two, but as of right now, it's a part two because we have a lot of community stuff to cover for its finances and Black youth, all kind of stuff that we're gonna cover with this panel. So this last question we'll cover that, and then we'll table everything else for the next episode. Now, this last question, someone asked this question. I think it was an amazing question. I didn't know how to answer. I figured you ladies would definitely have some input on this, and I think I know what some of the answers probably going to be. But the question was, what is your opinion or your thoughts on open relationships or marriages?
Huh?
Plead the fifth. No.
Well, you can't plead the fifth because we're not in court.
I have an opinion about open relationships. I know that is a thing. It seems to be. I'm newly not newly divorced. I divorced about 3 years ago. I was married for 13 years, with him for 19 years. So I believe in marriage. I believe that it is. You know, good and possible to have some amazing opportunities from it, to be able to love somebody and you know, live out your days with somebody is great, right? So and if you find somebody once or twice, you know, you get the you're lucky and blessed enough to do that, then I say go for it. Don't be scared about it, right? Because you live once, and to our knowledge, at least to my knowledge, And so you shouldn't live that life in fear. So um, I also think that the open kind of relationship now, that a lot of men, that I've even met in my, since I've been kind of dating or whatever, um, I'm not for that. I don't know, I can see how some people would be, if somebody's wanting to take care of you and offer you all of these things and could take care of two families, and that kind of thing is appealing if you you know need that kind of togetherness. But it's just not something I'm into or interested in. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I
Who
just think
else?
it's the right couple. If you're gonna have, I think it's different types of people. I think there are people that just like to be one on one. They are good with being one on one. That's all they want. They're good with just them. There are other people that like variety, and that's just them. They are not gonna ever be settled. They are not gonna ever just want to be with one person, and that's okay because that's what they do. And I'm of the school of thought that as long as you ain't hurting nobody, you ain't doing nothing illegal. Hey, do you? If you two agree on having an open relationship, that is between the two of you. If you are married and y'all have an understanding, you have a respect and a relationship that can withstand some of the pitfalls that may come along the way, that's for y'all. Y'all strong people. You can do this. And I just think it's up to that couple how they want to do it. I ain't got no problem with it. That's on you, how you live your life. But I just think it comes with a lot of communication. That's a hard way to live because it's a lot of extra that comes at you. When you one on one, you know that one person, you know that other person. When you got other people, you got other personalities, other things going on. You got two separate people over here, you got two separate people over here. Some folks may not get along. So it's a lot more that goes into open relationships. But if you're strong enough to handle that, hey, more power to you. I ain't gonna say I'm for it or against it, but I understand it. I'm good.
Who else?
I, I so I
Can
think
he repeat it? Can you repeat that again? I didn't really.
I think open relationships are like Yvette said, it's whatever is for you. Like no one can dictate to you what type of relationship is the right type of relationship for you. So just because something isn't for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong or it's an abomination. It's just not for me if that's not for me. I think in this world, like we people have a lot of options, and I think we've heard so much that the female population is double that of the male population. So the chances are that the majority of the women are going to end up without a man if everybody is to remain monogamous one on one. And I think people have come into that sense of, well, it's okay because I might end up with no man. We're gonna have to share a man type of personality. But there's benefits to having the open relationship. Like there's the open relationship, and then there's that whole um poly lifestyle where it's there's a man, you're all one family, y'all are combining finances, living together, all that good stuff. And there's benefit to that. Like I when I researched and heard and I hear people talking, I was like, that that sounds quite awesome. I have a live-in babysitter. we, we all have more money. I can travel without necessarily having to worry about my mama coming to take care of these kids. Like there's some benefits to it, but it's everything is kind of like what works for you. Whatever you feel is good for you. Because I can't. I mean, you have to answer to your God, and I have to answer to mine. And sometimes our God might be the same. He might not be. So I can't tell you how to live your life.
And Miss Tangela?
Well, it happens, but I'm not for it. I'm for the closed relationship. When I say that, I mean it's an individual thing. I mean, it's where you are in life and what your choices are. But I think as for me, I mean, just personally, I mean, my life is too busy to be trying to bounce here and there. anyway. So I just rather stick to one.
Okay, all right, ladies. I appreciate your open honesty with that question. That's pretty much why I was hoping to say that for last anyway. Ladies, I think we had a great roundtable tonight, and I think we're gonna have more to come.
Yeah.
To the audience, to the viewers, I want to say there was only part one of this um, roundtable entitled "Talk with the Sisters." We're definitely going to do part two, hopefully next Thursday night with these same ladies and continue on because there's so many questions that I've gotten amazingly about relationship. We covered pretty much the girlfriend boyfriend stage. Now we get into the marriage stage, and I have a lot of stuff that I want to share with the ladies as well. So we're going to move forward to that and I'm on the audience so you can know. And I'm going to prepare these ladies. I usually I wasn't going to do this, but so I want the audience to know what's coming up on the next episode. It's kind of like those that watch the stories. You're going to wait the next week to catch it. So because it's going to get more juicier. But we're going to be talking about again marriage life on the next episode, and hopefully we can filter that into the next subject, which is going to be the Black community, and we're going to touch on that there. And there's a lot of stuff information I have on that as well. But most importantly, to my panel of ladies and to the viewers that are watching or going to watch, coming late on to watch, please share this because our last subject that we're going to cover. And I want everyone with teenage girls, teenage boys to please tune in because our last subject that we're going to cover is going to be a deep one concerning teenage domestic violence, which is definitely growing in this country. So I want all the viewers to share this. If you have not subscribe to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss these episodes. So we're going to jump right into this thing next Thursday night. We will be on time. It's not the ladies' fault. We're going to blame it on. I'm going to take the blame for this one. The technical difficulties I was trying to get together tonight, and it just wasn't working out for me. But I will definitely be prepared next week. For those that follow me on Facebook, and Instagram. If you can't, I know some of you like to ride and listen to my podcast on Spotify. I'm sorry I wouldn't even get that together. I need to call Spotify and find out what is going on with that, so I can have that together for those who like to ride and listen to the podcast as well. I want to thank these four ladies for their open and honest opinions and their suggestions and just their overall input on Black relationships. I think it's very important that we touch on these things and talk about these things because we don't. So to have an open forum like this to allow them to speak their minds and give their input on what should we do thus far and so on is going to only get better. So please stick with us. We'll be back next Thursday. Do everyone agree next Thursday? Are we okay with that?
What?
Yeah.
That's
I know you're going out of town somewhere.
Yeah, I think I come back on Thursday morning from the cruise. Yeah, so that should be fine.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna be back the same time next Thursday, and we're gonna have everything up and running. I'm gonna either start early so I can have everything up and running, but we're definitely gonna be back next Thursday to do this thing. We're gonna let these ladies dig deep into some of these guys' ego coming up. So, fellas, get ready because I ain't even asked a question that's gonna touch some of these male egos. So I hope they prepared. So, ladies, once again, I want to thank you for joining me tonight on Par 24 The Sauce. Well, I really appreciate it. I'm just smiling because you ladies did a phenomenal job. Please share this to your page, share this to whatever groups you may be in, share it to so they can watch it and let them know that we'll be back next Thursday night. So if they missed the night or they enjoyed the night, they can always join us next week as well. Any last words before we go off the air? Miss Tan, since you on the spotlight as of right now, I'll let you go first.
Um, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I know it's going to get bigger, and people are going to really, really, really tune in. And I just think people are going to learn so much, and we'll begin to think about how to handle certain relationships.
Beautiful, beautiful. And
And
Miss
thank
Jeanette?
you.
I also want to say thank you, amazing panel of ladies. Thank you for having me be a part of such amazing group. Thank you, Tiffany Williams, for your. I can't figure out how to do the. I'll get it. The little messaging. So
through YouTube.
to the thank you to the audience. I'll do that next time, Shamika. Thank you. Thank you to Ryan and Claretta for being part of the audience and being so active. And yeah, look forward to talking to you guys again next week.
And Miss Shamika?
It was a pleasure being here tonight. I enjoyed myself. I enjoy, you guys listening to my opinion because probably none of it was fact. And I'll see you guys next Thursday after I come back from my cruise of relaxing.
Enjoy.
And Miss ATL herself, Miss Yvette.
Just call me jealous. Everybody going on cruises and stuff. I want to go on a cruise. But I enjoyed my time tonight. Thank you all very much. Oh, Miss Jeanette made me just feel all happy and joyous and just
Yes, yes, baby.
I thank the people who tuned in, Ryan from the Netherlands, Miss Tiffany, and everybody else that was tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. So looking forward to next week. I didn't do marriage right the first go round. I'm just gonna tell you now. So it's gonna be some fun times to be had next.
Me and you both.
That's what it's all about. Once again, I want to thank you, ladies. I want to thank everyone. Miss Tiffany, my brother Ryan, appreciate you coming in. Of course, Coretta. And anyone else who we may not have seen. I think Tiffany was so active tonight. Amazing job she done. We appreciate that. And we would definitely be back next week. As they said, I know I'm probably older than everybody on this panel, so y'all ain't gonna catch this. But as they used to say, when Batman and Robin used to go off back in the '80s, next week same bat time, same bat station. So, but no, next week same time. We'll see you guys there, ladies. Once again, thank you. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great one.
Night, night.
Good
Good night
night.
to all.